You know those super traditional houses? All square and the same. How about leaving the monotony behind and seeing some much more interesting options? Let's take a look at the craziest houses you can imagine. From a man who converted an airplane to live in to a family finding freedom in a school bus. Here are 10 incredible homes you won't believe exist. Number 10. Man lives in an airplane house in Houston. Before we start, please like, subscribe to the channel, and tell us where you are watching us from. For some guys, hitting middle age means buying a motorcycle and pretending to be a weekend outlaw. For others, it's a flashy red sports car followed closely by a string of alimony payments. And then, there's Joe Axline. Joe looked at his midlife crisis and said, "You know what? Forget the usual cliches. I'm going to live inside a dismembered airplane." Because, of course, why wouldn't you? See, when Joe was a kid, he watched a TV show called The Magician, where the main character would dramatically drive his car into the back of an airplane and take off. Apparently, that scene embedded itself so deeply in Joe's subconscious that decades later, when he found himself single again, he decided to make his childhood fantasy his full-blown adult reality. So, in 2011, instead of just getting a new hobby like a normal person, he went and bought a couple of airplane carcasses. He even gave the whole thing a painfully cheesy name, Project Freedom, because nothing screams freedom like living inside the hollowed-out remains of a decommissioned aircraft. Joe bought a piece of land in Brookshire, Texas, and then, as one casually does, dragged 2 wingless plane sections onto it. Since then, he's been busy turning them into a fully functional home. It's got all the usual house essentials, plus a few leftover airplane features to remind you that, yes, you are indeed living inside what was once a commercial flight. And honestly, it's a total conversation starter. People love to snoop around and see what it's like inside, probably wondering if the in-flight snacks are still terrible. But hey, Joe is thriving. He's in his 50s. He's living his childhood dream, and you really can't argue with that, even if you want to. Number 9. 430 square foot tiny cabin, Gullthorne's Hut. Ah yes, another tiny house, because apparently living in a glorified shoebox is all the rage these days. And guess what? This one's off-grid. It's made from repurposed materials. And wait for it, it even has solar panels. That's right. This little hut checks off pretty much every trendy buzzword on the eco-friendly, arborio, minimalist, hipster-approved bingo card. And just wait until you see the minimalist modern interior. It's like an issue of Elle decoration threw up all over the place. But hey, don't get me wrong. It's very nice, really. If your idea of luxury is spending an absurd amount of money to live like a stylish hermit, then this is absolutely the place for you. Oh, and of course, it's listed on Airbnb, because why wouldn't it be? Located in the wilds of New South Wales, Australia, this sleek little eco-friendly paradise is perfect for those who love the idea of saving the planet, right after they've burned a metric ton of jet fuel flying halfway across the world just to stay in it. Ah yes, nothing says environmentally conscious, quite like long-haul tourism, but hey, that's just a fact. Number 8. Pythagorean Home, amidst Olive Grove, offers views and protection. Oh yes, math. The one thing standing between you and a house that collapses like my willpower at an all-you-can-eat buffet. Normally, getting the numbers right just means your home doesn't fall over. But for some people, that's just not enough. No, they have to take it way too seriously and turn their house into a full-blown mathematical tribute. Enter the Pythagorean Home, because apparently nothing screams cozy living like a structure dedicated to a guy who's been dead for over 2,500 years. This architectural masterpiece is nestled in the middle of an olive grove near Athens, because where else would you put your math shrine? Its sharp triangular design isn't just for aesthetics, it's meant to honor Pythagoras himself. Yes, that Pythagoras, the one from high school geometry class. The one who made you hate triangles. But don't worry, This isn't just a fancy homage to ancient Greek homework, it actually serves a purpose. The two severe or angular sides protect the house from sun and weather, because nothing says warm and inviting like giant, intimidating walls. Meanwhile, the third side is completely open, with massive windows that give you a breathtaking view of the mountains. So at least while you're trapped inside your geometrical fortress, you can stare dramatically into the distance and ponder why you did this to yourself. Number 7. Skinny Home in Toronto is a prototype for parking space homes. When is a house not really a house? Oh, I don't know. Maybe when it's just a glorified hallway with a front door. Seriously, this has to be one of the most ridiculous so-called homes yet. And what's worse, it's apparently a prototype for future housing solutions. Because if there's one thing the world desperately needs, it's more creative ways for real estate developers to squeeze people into overpriced shoeboxes. This guy in Toronto somehow managed to build a 1,300 square foot house, complete with 3 bedrooms and 3 bathrooms, on a strip of land that's only 16 feet wide. And sure, it's an impressive feat of design and engineering, but let's be real. The moment landlords and property developers get their hands on this concept, it's game over for anyone hoping to live in a space that's wider than a parking spot. The real kicker: the guy now wants this to be a model for turning parking spaces into homes. That's right, folks. The future of housing isn't affordable family homes or reasonable rent prices. Nope, it's people living in what is essentially a slightly upgraded carport. And before anyone says, well, space is limited, let me remind you, this is Canada. Not exactly the most landlocked country on Earth, is it? But hey, why let ordinary people have reasonable living space when the ultra-rich can just hoard entire neighborhoods of empty mansions? Just a little question before we all willingly agree to live in glorified closets. Number 6. Floating Villa in Dubai. The floating seahorse. Villas, because what better way to show the world you've made it than living in a floating glass box? These things are supposed to look like seahorses, but spoiler alert, they don't. Still, if you squint hard enough, you can convince yourself they're aquatic creatures of luxury. Located in Dubai, a city known for its utter obsession with real estate, these floating homes are designed for mega-wealthy yacht owners who need a local base. Because obviously, when you've got enough money to own a yacht, you can't just live on land like the rest of us peasants. But hey, these aren't your run-of-the-mill apartments. These are 3,100 square foot floating homes, over 3 levels of indulgence: underwater, sea level, and upper deck. The underwater level is where things get, well, a little too unique. It's where the master suite and bathroom are. Because who wouldn't want to be surrounded by transparent glass walls that give them a front row seat to the coral reef and marine life? Of course, that glass is probably two-way, which means while you're lying there in your master suite, enjoying the view, you're also giving sea creatures and any random scuba diver a perfectly unobstructed look at your personal business. But hey, I can't think of any reason why you'd need privacy in your bathroom or bedroom while being watched by fish. Totally fine, right? Naturally, these fancy apartments for fancy people come with 24-hour concierge service, 5-star facilities, and a modest $1.3 million price tag. Because nothing says affordable housing, quite like living under the sea. Number 5. Family ditch expensive rents to live in a converted school bus. The joys of contemporary city living, where sky-high rents push you to the brink of financial ruin. But hey, why rent an apartment when you can just buy an old school bus and make it your family home, right? Because that's clearly the logical choice. This brilliant family from Renton, just outside Seattle, decided to escape the crushing weight of city life by purchasing an old school bus for the bargain price of $2,800. Of course, that's just the vehicle cost. They then spent an additional $30,000 to turn it into a proper family home. For the luxury living experience on wheels. Sure, it's not the cheapest solution in the world, but hey, at least they own it. They can drive away from their problems at any time. Who wouldn't want the freedom of being able to pack up and roll out every time the mood strikes? Nothing says stability like a house that's constantly on the move. Now, the couple themselves acknowledge that they're living in a ridiculous lifestyle, and honestly, they're not wrong. They've got 3 small kids in this mobile home, which, if you ask me, is just a recipe for chaos. But hey, they've got a fully equipped kitchen, a washing machine, a bathroom with a bathtub, and bedrooms, all crammed into a bus that's, well, definitely not designed for anyone over 6 feet tall. So it's great for now, until they grow too tall and their heads start hitting the ceiling. But really, when it comes down to it, who needs a spacious house when you can have a bouncy, cramped, mobile adventure? It's a novel idea for sure. Number 4. Treehouse looks like UFO. And now, wait for it. A treehouse that looks like a UFO. Why not, right? It's not like we were running out of bizarre ideas for homes or anything. Imagine this. You're stumbling through the forest at 3 a.m., a bit disoriented and half asleep, and you suddenly stare up and think, well, this is it. I've found it. The UFO landing site. It's finally happening. Don't worry, friend. You're not in some sort of alien encounter. You've just wandered into the world of ridiculous architectural choices. This treehouse is built in the classic flying saucer shape, which really makes you think, why not? What could go wrong with constructing a spaceship-inspired home in the middle of a forest? It's perched nearly 20 feet off the ground. Because, of course, UFOs are known for being high up in the air, and there's even a creepy spotlight underneath, just to give it that extra alien landing vibe. The light does serve a practical purpose, though. It illuminates the staircase, because nothing says you're about to be teleported like a glowing staircase, right? Inside, it gets even more authentic. The whole space is decorated in a space-themed style. Of course it is. Nothing says peaceful forest retreat like a room that feels like you're ready to join the Galactic Federation. And it's big enough for 5 people to hang out in your own personal UFO, because why would you want to be alone when the aliens come to visit? So, yeah, a UFO-shaped treehouse. Totally normal. Number 3. From old Belgian water tank to dream tower house with a view. So, you're thinking about moving into a house that was once a water tower. Well, forget about your typical suburban home with its garden and picket fence. This Belgian water tower will really make a statement, and possibly give you vertigo while doing so. Built in 1938, this 98-foot tall structure was originally a 250,000-liter water tank. You know, the kind of thing you don't usually consider for cozy living spaces. It served many purposes over the years, including a watchtower during World War II when the Nazis occupied Belgium. Definitely not your run-of-the-mill home history. Fast forward to 2007, and this old water tower gets a complete makeover. The exterior was carefully restored to its original form, but the interior was transformed into a stylish family home. They didn't just throw in a few cozy features like wood paneling and fireplaces. Oh no, they got creative. We're talking massive water basins, concrete ceilings, and stairs that probably make your thighs burn just thinking about them. It's not exactly a Georgian townhouse, but it's certainly a conversation starter. The result? An extremely unique home with an unbelievable view. Not quite the classic homey charm, but it does take all sorts. What do you think? Could you make this water tower your dream home, or does it sound a little too much like living in a monument for comfort? Number 2. Quits Lakota's Nest Snake House. Alright, if you're not exactly a fan of serpents, then this might not be your idea of a dream vacation, but for those who can stomach it, this could be one of the most unique stays ever. The Lakota's Nest Snake House, located just north of Mexico City, is a truly bizarre sculpture house nestled within a sculpture park, and it's available as an Airbnb property. Yes, you can actually sleep inside the belly of a giant snake. Now, before you start imagining yourself curled up inside some sort of horrific slithering monster, let me reassure you, from the outside, the place is as snaky as it gets. It's like something straight out of a surreal fever dream. But when you step inside, well, it's surprisingly normal. Nothing to get too worked up about. The interiors are quite standard, with nothing particularly snake-like to freak you out. The best part? If you book a stay here, you get exclusive access to the entire sculpture park. The garden is filled with oversized serpent sculptures and all sorts of creepy cool art. Set among lush landscaping, the atmosphere can be downright eerie, but also, there's something strangely captivating about it. For some, this might be a peaceful escape, while for others, it could be a creepy nightmare, especially if you're stuck with someone who thinks homes should be nothing more than square boxes with basic windows and doors. So, if you're ready for something different, this could be the vacation for you. The real question is, would you be up for staying in a snake-shaped house surrounded by serpent-themed sculptures? Or would you rather skip this slithery adventure and stick with something a bit more, well, conventional? Number 1. Skateboard House, Malibu, California. Imagine living in a house where skateboarding is not only allowed, but actually encouraged. It sounds like the ultimate dream for any skateboarder, right? Well, for Paz, a professional skateboarder and former world champion, this dream became a reality. He designed a skatable home in Malibu, California that caters entirely to his skating lifestyle. Divided into 3 distinct areas, this house is just like any other modern, comfortable home, except that it's been customized for skateboarding. No need to head outside to get your skate on. Inside, you can skate from room to room, and there's no one telling you to stop. The 3 areas of the house are the living area, which includes the dining room and kitchen. This space is designed for comfort, but with enough curve to make it a skater's paradise. The bedroom and bathroom. Yep, even these rooms have been designed to keep your board rolling. The dedicated skateboard zone. This area is where the magic happens. The floors and walls are designed to mimic the feel of a skateboarding ramp, with smooth plywood finishes and curving walls that flow seamlessly from floor to ceiling. What makes this house truly unique is the curvature of everything. It's like the rooms are made to be ramps themselves, and the furniture is skatable. Now, 2. Every standing object could easily become a rail or bar to grind along, or a launch ramp for tricks. Paz didn't just build a house. He built an entire skateboarding playground that's also a home for any skater who's ever dreamed of living in a place where every surface is a potential skate spot. This is the ultimate half-pipe dream come to life. Now, that's a lifestyle. Would you build something like this? Let me know all your wild and wacky home ideas in the comments below. And be sure to check out more of the amazing homes featured on the screen. See you next time.